Hi, I'm Elaine. This is Elaine is XYZ, a vlog that's currently about big changes in life location and the decluttering that invariably comes with that. So yeah, life continues to be very unpredictable. When I found what seemed to be like a dream job here in Shanghai, I thought I was committing to actually staying in a place for quite a while, at least 2 years. And so I gave myself permission to live life that wasn't out of a suitcase. I bought furniture, various experimental kitchen implements, a light smattering of plants. I even adopted a cat. And then dream job turned out to not be so dreamy. I started looking for an escape, and lo and behold, an opportunity popped up that had both the parts of dream job that made it dreamy to begin with and a lot less of the problems that made dream job kind of a nightmare. Only thing is, it's in the United States, a place that I really never thought I was ever going to move back to. But yeah, I'm moving countries. And since my final destination, New York City, is, how do you say, difficult when it comes to finding space to rent for what Shanghai would consider a reasonable amount at least, it doesn't really make sense for me to take stuff with me. And since China's committed to the zero COVID policy, which makes it incredibly hard, nearly impossible for me to get back in here once I leave, it doesn't really make sense for me to keep stuff here. I likely won't see it for years. I've heard rumors that this policy is going to last until 2025. Oy. So that means I have to get rid of all my stuff. All of it, pretty fast. Everything except for the cat. I'm keeping the cat. Luckily, at this point in my life, I am very good at downsizing and pretty used to getting rid of stuff pretty fast. And I don't mean just throwing it out. The eco-conscious, sensitive soul in me actually feels very, very sad if something isn't getting reused to the best of its ability. I'd prefer to rehome or recycle as much of my stuff as I can. So join me, won't you, as I embark on this downsizing adventure once again. Okay, since I opted out of having anything shipped, I don't know where I would ship it to. I basically need to make sure that my life, at least until I get settled somewhere in New York, can fit into 2 suitcases. I don't even get a carry-on suitcase because according to my airlines, Fraggy the cat counts as one. Better than shipping her freight, I guess. So I've divided what I'm going to take with me and what I need to get rid of into 3 categories in order of importance. And hilariously, I somehow managed to make this rhyme. There's gear, the most expensive and most life necessary things that I own, things like my laptop, like this camera, passport and stuff like that. Just basically the essentials that I definitely cannot give up. There's care, which I'm using as a category to encompass anything that I cannot get in America but I could possibly bring there. This includes Christmas gifts, I guess, I'm giving to my relatives in America, but mainly for the most part is art and other kind of sentimental items like that. Stuff I want hanging around my apartment in New York to remind me of all the cool things that were here in China. Incidentally, I figured this is a good time to talk about some of the reactions that people have to minimalism when you first talk to them about it. I've noticed that people get ultra defensive when you start talking about yourself throwing things out because it almost seems to them like you're telling them to throw out things that matter to them. As if because, say, Marie Kondo doesn't care very much about keeping books around, that means books are definitively categorized as trash. But that's not really what I think minimalism is about. For me, it's always been deciding more what truly matters to you and making sure you're actually making space for it. And for me, what truly matters to me is this freaking awesome poster of a llama attacking Beijing. And finally, the last category, which doesn't matter to me as much, but does matter to some people, I'm not judging, but it's my closet. Where? So clothing, including shoes and accessories. Just to reiterate, category 1, gear. Category 2, care. Category 3, wear. Let's get this packing started. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is gear, which I'll probably need to spend a good chunk of time sorting through and getting rid of. Good morning. It's really early. As you can see, I'm in my pajamas, but the cat would not stop waking me up. You know, you could just come and cuddle. If you miss me enough to follow me to every room and like literally tear my shelves off, you could just come and cuddle. Nope. So I figured I might as well get a good start to the day. There's been something that's been really on my mind now that I've committed to only bringing 2 suitcases of stuff with me to start my new life in the United States. And that's actually the scattered but important knickknacks that I want to bring with me, especially in the realm of electronics and sentimental items. And so I figured that's what I was going to concentrate on today, getting those in order so that maybe we can square them away in the suitcase, and then I can get a general sense of how many clothes I can actually fit to pad out the rest of the suitcase. So I think the first thing that I have to do then is basically consolidate everything that I have, knick-knack and sentimental value-wise, and sort through it all. Maybe I'll find some stuff that's gone AWOL inexplicably over the last couple of months. Here's hoping. Okay, so yeah, here were all of the things in various little knick-knack boxes. I've tried to roughly put electronics and gear somewhere around here. Obviously ignore the water bottle. I've put the bags that they were in the back, and then kind of on that side is all like assortments of randomness that I'm gonna go look through. I've already identified certain things that I know are broken that I actually really need to plan into my remaining schedule to either get fixed or, I don't know, responsibly throw away. And here's some stuff that is not broken that I can exchange for money. That I think I'll try to do that today. Luckily, here in Shanghai, it's actually incredibly easy to sell these, as long as you aren't fussed that you'd maybe be able to get more if you were willing to project manage, holding out for a better deal. But I'm not even sure if that's true. I don't know who in their right mind these days would buy a 5-year-old cell phone. I don't want to deal with that anyways. Meet aihuishou. So what is aihuishou? Literally the easiest electronics recycling method I've ever come across. They have an app or a mini program for you to find the location nearest to you, and they recycle just about any consumer electronic that still works. Phones, cameras, headphones, large household goods, and also luxury handbags. If you just have phones or laptops, you can walk into any of their locations anywhere. If you have something that might need a more expert appraisal, like for instance a DJI Osmo Pocket, you can book a 2-hour window at most of the store options on the app. Someone with that expertise will be working there at that time. On that date, remember to bring your passport. Yes, China requires you to show ID in order to recycle these high-value goods. I guess it's to make sure you aren't stealing them for resale. Anyway, if you don't bring ID, you'll walk away kind of frustrated because they absolutely will not take these goods from you. But again, otherwise super easy, and if you followed all of those steps, you'll get money for your unused electronics as soon as they assess them and reboot them clean. Now though, for the hard part, which is the non-electronic stuff, things like my mirror, my table, all those assorted kitchen knickknacks that I guess I'm going to have to replace once I get back to New York because the voltage is different here anyways. Air fryer, sous vide machine. It was so lovely knowing you. Now here's my tip as someone with ADHD to you if you, like me, hate doing this whole like back and forth contacting people, constantly messaging out stuff, constantly responding to inquiries stuff. Outsource it. Again, maybe you wouldn't earn as much as if you took on all of it yourself, but actually brain space is money too. Since I do have ADHD and I am actually quite introverted, needing to be in constant communication with a variety of strangers is actually quite anxiety-inducing for me. And so I enlisted the help of a friend who I'm obviously paying for their time, who actually likes doing this kind of stuff, to work with me on it. I basically took pictures and categorized everything and gave them as much information as possible, and they're doing the work of actually throwing it into secondhand selling groups, talking with the people, and just involving me at the last step when those people need to arrive to pick the stuff up. It's very freeing. Oh, and I want to show you how I've organized it all, by the way. I was introduced to Notion by Productivity YouTube, and it has become my go-to note app across all of my devices. It's great both for organization and for its cooperative capabilities. You can see here how easy it is to list things on here for me and my friends to keep track of. I can tag things or checklist things, so like I know if I've sent the picture I promised or if they found a possible buyer already. And each of these items in the first column can be clicked into to add further descriptive details. Notion is just absolutely amazing for light project management. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, or anyone really. I'm still tiny. I'm a tiny YouTuber. But I just wanted to say that I love this app. And voila, some stuff gets sold. So I've already talked in several videos before about how to choose a capsule closet that you can take with you while traveling, and there's not that much that's new here, but just for a refresher, this is how I go about it. Get all your clothes into a big-ass pile just so you know what you're dealing with. Thankfully, I hadn't gone crazy with buying new outfits these last 2 years, so this big-ass pile was nowhere near as big as the one I decluttered in Beijing when I first began this minimalist journey. And once that's done, ensure you have 3 areas to toss things for sorting. Rehomable clothes, aka clothes that are clean and of decent quality that you're just not that excited about anymore. But, ostensibly, someone else could get joy from them. I'm actually doing this step a bit early in the game because actually some friends planned a swap meet for tomorrow, and so I figured it was a great chance for me to get all of the clothes that I would possibly want to give to other people ready. You know, get my rehomable pile sorted so that I can take it there. Please don't bring dirty or damaged clothes to free swap meets, by the way. That's just really, really rude. Instead, put them in their own pile, recyclable trash. There are a multitude of ways here for getting your clothing to the rag trade, but maybe I'll get into that some other time. And of course, your keep pile. Okay, so that was relatively painless. I have my initial offering of rehomable clothes that I'll be bringing to this swap meet party tomorrow. I have a surprisingly small bag of trash clothes. I guess I already did that purge a while ago. And, well, it's a little off screen, but you can kind of tell there's a mess here, and then there's like a mess off to the side over here. Ooh, of clothes that, at least for now, I'm going to keep. And now I guess, it's time to put that all back into my closet. Alright, let's get started. So, 2 years ago, I whittled down a closet to 100 items, and I further slashed that when I decided to go travel the world. Somehow, those 2 experiences actually rewired my subconscious when it came to clothes, because while sorting, I realized just how little I've added to my closet this year. I have bought some new stuff, mostly leggings, and I've gotten some great secondhand wear, but I've noticed I enjoy clothes, but what I enjoy more is finding the ones that I can get the most use out of. Everything else I'm fine to let go. I want to point this out because I still viscerally remember the anxiety I had with letting go of pieces the first time I downsized. I agonized about some items even though, truthfully, I never really found a way to wear them. This time, not so much. Which I think proves this. Minimizing closets, home items, whatever, it really is a journey, an expansion of comfort zones. What hits hard the first time isn't what you'll hold on to the third or fourth. So if you're new to this, it's okay to take baby steps. The bigger steps will come later, kind of naturally, if they were meant to be. The most important thing is to get that conversation started about you and your possessions, and then you take it from there. All right, wow. I'm now in my last week of Shanghai, and I more or less filled my 2 suitcases. Kind of. I'm still moving things around between them, seeing what fits and what I might have to leave behind. I kind of made it harder on myself by putting each of the suitcases in completely different separate locations. I think weeks ago this somehow made sense logically, but now I'm just like, why? But whatever the logistics are going forward, I can at least say I'm confident that what I'm bringing to the States in these bags are, in fact, what I really need. Inevitably, when I get settled in New York again, I'm going to start accumulating things again. I don't think there's anything too worrying about that, though, because I know now, with the experience of my closet and divesting all my furniture here, these previous exercises have done a surprising amount to ingrain a general awareness of how much I have and when to step back from buying more. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. Anyway, if you found this useful or fun at all, please like and subscribe. You can find me off of YouTube on my Instagram or on my newsletter at Ghost. Links in the description below. And see you next time doing whatever it is I happen to be doing. The throwaway pile. Get out of there, cat. Unless you want to be trash. Are you trash?